And that's your new campaign. I see it's on here, Pure Michigan.
The Pure Michigan campaign, that's right.
Now, tell us a little bit about that. You have some commercials
Correct.
and stuff like that I think the viewers are going to get a chance to see while we're talking.
Yep. Well, and what this is about is, thanks to you and other members of the legislature, as you know, we got a boost in our funding for 2006 and 2007 for last year and this year. And that boost was, I think, recognition by the governor and you and other legislators that, tourism promotion, first of all, works. And you mentioned what are some of the barriers to people coming earlier, and one thing I didn't mention is competition, because one of the barriers is that everybody wants the visitor to come spend in their state or in their city, and that's a challenge. And the state of Illinois spends about $50 million a year on tourism promotion. Pennsylvania is now up to $64 million a year on tourism promotion. So we've got some well-financed competitors. Their product is not the same as ours, and in many ways not as good as ours.
Right.
But
they have toll booths and things like that.
Well, exactly. But the truth is that they're still aggressively marketing those destinations, those states, and we're competing against that. And so, for a consumer that's sitting in their condo on the lakefront in Chicago trying to decide where to go for their summer vacation, we're certainly an option. But we're not the only one. And they're going to be barraged by advertising from not just other states, but other countries. I mean, I noticed recently Turkey bought a huge, the country of Turkey has a big ad buy going in the US right now. I mean, and tourism is very much a global business. And so every discretionary tourism dollar, you're competing against another destination. And so one of our challenges is, how do we do that? How do we most effectively spend our money to get the best return for the state? But I think that we do have this national quality product, and our goal is to really get that message out, at least throughout the U.S.
So how many dollars are we spending on promotion?
The promotion budget this year is about $13.2 million, and our total budget's around $15 million, and that puts us about 17th. Now, a couple years ago, before the 21st Century Funding boost, we had dropped to 31st. So we were really getting down there, near the bottom. Now we're back up at 17th, so we're more in the middle of the pack, and able to be more competitive. And this Pure Michigan campaign, which is where this question started, is advertising, yes, and it's also branding, and and Pure Michigan really is a new brand we've created for the state's tourism product. And a brand, in its simplest terms, just means, how do you best position your product in the marketplace to get the best results?
So what's the commercial? What does the commercial talk about?
Well, and that's the thing that and again, I think if your viewers will get a chance to see them as we talk about it. But these commercials try to establish, and I think successfully establish, the emotional appeal of an experience like this.
The sand dunes.
Yeah, for example.
Or taking a boat over to the Manitou Islands.
Or whatever it is. But those things that are the kind of the grandeur of the state, the things that are uniquely Michigan. Now they can be outdoor recreation, as in your part of the state, but in the same way that going to Hitsville, in Detroit, or the Henry Ford Museum, that's also uniquely Michigan. So the Pure Michigan brand kind of works for both, for those things that are unique to Michigan in a natural resources sense, or unique in a cultural sense, like the Henry Ford Museum.
Wow, in 30 seconds you say all that.
Well, that's one of the challenges. You're certainly right about that. But I think our agency, McCann Erickson, who has been with us now for 2 years, has done an extraordinary job of capturing that emotion. And not just the destinations, but also what makes Michigan special. Because at the end of the day, when you or I or anyone is deciding where to go on a vacation, one of the things that's going on in our head is, for what it's going to cost for me to go there, whether I have to drive or fly or whatever it might be, and the cost of my stay there, is my anticipation that the experience is special enough to make it worth it? And that's what Pure Michigan is trying to sell, that in fact, we are such a special experience. We are such a unique place. We offer visitors such compelling travel experiences. It would be worth investing a considerable amount of time and money as a consumer.
Now, when did this campaign start?
Well, we kind of piloted Pure Michigan last year in 3 of our new out-of-state markets, which were Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and Ontario, in Southern Ontario. This year, this will be the first year Pure Michigan is in all of our marketing. So in-state, out-of-state, you'll see it. Wherever we're marketing, you'll see Pure Michigan.
And when you talk about marketing, that's
commercials, billboards.
Billboards, okay.
Yep, radio,
okay.
Some advertising, magazine advertising. But most of it, frankly, is broadcast. It's radio and TV.
And why is this different than past campaigns?
Well, I think it's this emotional appeal. I think that, it's so much of I've been doing this tourism promotion work for about the last 15 years, and
with the state of Michigan.
Actually, I was the state of Ohio tourism director before I came here. Yes,
okay.
I was recruited from that job to this one, and it's so easy to look at a lot of states and cities' tourism ads, and if you took away the name of the state or city, you could put another one in, because they tend to be very similar. You know, it's all the kind of stereotypical shots of the kid going down the water slide, or whatever it is. But I think what's different about the Pure Michigan campaign, we think and we believe, and we've seen some good results, is that it does capture this kind of emotional appeal of what Michigan is as a destination, not just a kind of a laundry list of, we have golf, we have amusement parks, we have this, we have that, because that's not enough to make it compelling.
Sure. Now there is a commission that's appointed
Travel
by the
Commission.
Travel Commission. That's
Yes.
the name of it. Travel Commission.
Yeah, the Michigan Travel Commission. Yeah.
Appointed by the governor.
Yes.
How many members?
13 members.
And are they Republican, Democrat?
Well, they're on staggered terms.
Okay.
So over time, they kind of change depending on the administrations that are, in power at the moment. And the Travel Commission really this has been a big year for them, because
Okay.
frankly, in the 5.5 years I've been here, they've been active in a number of projects, but I don't think the commission felt that they had really a core mission to rally around.
I was going to ask that
Yeah.
next. What is their mission?
Well, and like I said, that's something that they've really been struggling with. They really are advisory, so they don't really oversee our operation in an authoritative way. They certainly advise us, and they're industry people, like our chair, Chris McManus from Crystal
Yes,
Mountain, from your area. I mean,
from Northern Michigan.
Yep. So we certainly have always respected their input and their opinion. But the big thing that happened this year is that the tourism industry itself came up with a strategic plan. And the commission has decided to embrace that plan and to really be the champions of that plan and getting it implemented.
What is that?
Well, the plan really it was put together, again, not by us. It wasn't a Travel Michigan or MEDC plan. It wasn't a Travel Commission plan in that they didn't create it. About 250 tourism industry people from around the state worked on it over about 18 months and came up with recommendations in a wide range of areas on things that would help the industry move forward. And they include everything from how much they think should be spent on promotion, and the number they used is $30 million a year, is what they thought was where we should be. But things like hospitality training, how should we train frontline staff at hotels and attractions so that they give the best possible service? Because that's part of your experience as a traveler too. Or research. How much research do we have now? What's missing? Are there research needs that could be filled if the industry kind of got together and said, yeah, we need to know more about this? And that could be anything from what are the current trends in travel, what's happening to the baby boomers as they retire, how do Gen X travelers compare to baby boomer travelers, all those things. I mean, there's a lot of data that's needed to make intelligent decisions. And so it's really all of those things. And the commission has embraced the plan and said, yeah, we're going to analyze these recommendations, and we're going to prioritize them, and we're going to try to find ways to get the best ones implemented.
And that might be by legislative methods. It might be in the budget.
Correct.
And talking about legislative methods and the budget, most recently we passed the post-Labor Day start.
Absolutely.
What does that mean for tourism here in the state?
Well, it's a big thing, and as you probably know, it's something that's been talked about for decades.
Yes. So how did you get it done? I mean, talked about for I remember when I was in the House and Bev Bodum had the bill.
Exactly.
I mean, that was years ago.
Well, and I think that's, to me, that's one of the signs of the maturation of the tourism industry in the state, is that for years and years they tried. Couldn't get it done. Just couldn't get it done. And it's important because for what the business has noticed, what we've noticed over recent years and really for a long time, is about the middle of August, summer was over. Because kids were going back to school. And once kids go back to school, then a big chunk of the market is not going to travel anymore. They're preoccupied with getting the kids ready to go to school. So maybe it's like August 1st now, by the time, but with all the prep and everything else. So the goal was, let's have school start after Labor Day. Let's get back those last couple weeks of August as vacation weeks, so that maybe hopefully more people will travel and spend money around the state at our great destinations. And also let's beef up Labor Day weekend itself. And so that's why it was important. But I think that the point you make earlier about how long this thing has been dragging around, and it's because the industry is now much better organized than they were in the past. They really have come together, and that was a perfect example of it. Their support for the 21st Century funding for tourism promotion.
Because it wasn't